silver roof.
Up there. And whose home was this?
This was Redding. This was, I can't remember her name. I wanted her, she had a son, Bob. But the home you took, and so a lot of these pictures from the slides were taken right there.
Oh, yes.
With all the kids in front of the cars. You remember that?
Yeah, yes.
That was taken shooting this way, and then there's that house that you got a picture of the other day.
That one right there?
I mean, that you...
Okay. So that's it and not the one, okay. That's the one right there.
Yep, that's it. You can see those pecan trees.
Oh, yes.
But they, it's amazing they're not larger than they are. So, you know, all of the children but 2, I think, were born here.
So, how old were you maybe when this house was sold, or when did Grandmother Van move out to Main Street out there?
I'm going to say 79 or 80. Uncle Jim bought that home, and they both moved out there and sold this to their cousin, or Jim's cousin, Lita Oates, who was another one of Mamie's children.
But up until 79, you recall coming out to this home?
Sure.
This is where Grandmother Van was.
This is it.
Nice.
I can remember as a little kid, there was a guy there was an old gin back over here, and there was a black guy in Headland that would drive around on a mule and wagon. He'd stop, pick us up, and we'd ride around on a mule and wagon.
Interesting. Now, who owns the old porch house building
Uncle
now?
Jim, Sam, and Sid.
Okay.
And somewhere was Dr. All right, so that's an upstairs. I'm assuming that was Dr. Burdishaw's dental office. Could have been up there.
Okay.
Holly's pharmacy was somewhere here.
Okay. And we're staying down there. See that ivy?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where we're staying.
And then there was at some point there was a liquor store right there. I want to think where that orange store thing is.
Mm-hmm.
A man named Byron Fain had a electronic repair place, like television repair. The main thing was Holly's pharmacy.
And you believe it was right? Is that where that
Holly's pharmacy?
Maybe where that awning is? That orange
right
to the right of it. Okay.
But I don't know. It may have been here. I just can't
And to the right, possibly. If the venue was Holly's pharmacy, to the right of it was maybe the hardware store.
That's the hardware store.
Oh, right here. Okay. Okay. And then Espy's and
I'm not sure what was down there.
Maybe the Jack Bridges Insurance Company.
Jack Bridges was in here.
He was. Okay. Okay.
That was Aunt Coe's dress shop. Uncle Bumps, this white man closed the door.
And they were always in business around the same time? They were, I mean, as far as Aunt Coe was next door?
Coe closed, you know, when she would have died, or I can't remember when she would have stopped. But Bumps probably retired in the mid 80s. Okay. Possibly early 80s.
What can you tell me about Ed's place? Anything interesting about it? Do you have any memories going there?
Yeah, I ate there as my Lord, a million times. Hot dogs, then later on enjoyed oysters there. But it was a bustling place. It was, renowned from travelers from Atlanta that came to the beach. It was advertised.
And we were talking about Bill Espy earlier. He was one article I found about him that he came here. That was big news, social news back then when he was a soap opera star. Yeah. But he came here and yeah.
Well, I mean, they advertised as world's best hot dogs, and I mean, people knew about that, but because in the older days, before the 4-lane was, people had to drive from Atlanta coming to Panama City. They drove right through here, right to downtown.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
And so, and then it just ran. All right, now that I think where the Bottle Tree is, which is an upscale restaurant now, was where excuse me.
It's okay.
Was where Van's Dry Goods used to be.
That's correct.
And so Granddaddy Van had that store as he was becoming involved in farming, and then eventually got out of that business and I guess farmed full time.
And Don's father, Carl McClendon, had a jewelry store on the left,
somewhere,
right next to it, where John's Jewelry is, according to Mark Willis.
Okay.
Anyway, he said that next to Bottle Tree, that was where Carl McClendon's jewelry store. I'll find out tomorrow when I walk with him.
And then there was a guy, Jimmy McClenny, that had was an accountant or a bookkeeper, and he was over there somewhere.
Okay.
Then there, I guess at some point, Freddie Reynolds had a Western Auto.
Okay, interesting.
Hardware store. There was a grocery store over here called the Jitney Jungle.
Okay, where the David's taco shop is? Pizza and taco?
That's my recollection.
Now, what burned down? Mark was telling me there was a business where those trees are, and you can see where they didn't build anything back. Do you recall what
No idea.
That probably was something fairly recent, I would guess. I mean, you would think that would be something.
It probably burned in the 90s, I'm guessing. A guy from over near Napier Field is where I knew of them living. Miss Palmer had a sewing supply store. Then you had Halsted Whidden, the Law, Duro Whidden, and Dink Halsted. And then I want to think next to that, or either the very first building there, was Curtis West had a radio repair.
And that's his radio tower
I would be
still.
willing to bet that whatever building that's on is where he had that.